for doing this. Could we just ask where you are right now, just where you are at this moment?
Yeah, no problem doing this. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, so I'm out here pretty much every off season. There's the gym I train out here with Charles Bentley. So yeah, that's where I've been at for pretty much the whole off season, quarantine, all that.
Let me ask you this. We've talked to some other guys like Danny Amendola and Matthew Stafford, and they're all to be able to sort of approximate what they do in practice, like throwing and running and catching balls and all that. What's it like for an offensive lineman, and what sort of challenges there at this point to get ready for a season? And if it's different than other off seasons under these conditions, how different, or is it not?
I mean, the only difference as far as the off season training for me has been just not having the OTAs. As far as off-season training in Arizona, my gym's been open the entire time. So, I've been fortunate to be able to get to be around other NFL guys doing what I typically do in the off-season, aside from having to adapt with not having the OTAs and going against, a live defense.
Sure.
There are ways that we've tried to work around that, at least at our gym. We have enough guys to where we can put an offensive line out and we can have guys lined up in defensive positions, and not like we're doing pass rush, because obviously none of us can pass rush or we wouldn't be playing our line. But just to like go through different stunts, different blitzes, just kind of recognition of that, just lining up next to somebody and taking sets. So, working around it the best way we can. And again, I think I'm real fortunate to be able to have a facility to go train at with trainers, and because I know a lot of guys are training out of their garages and stuff like that, which I know that they're doing the best they can, and that's all we can do right now. That's all we can do, be professionals and do what we can.
And just to clarify, how long have you been doing this in Arizona? Since your rookie year, or is this something you've added recently? Or
before my rookie year, I trained for the combine out here. I've been at the same gym my whole career in the off season. That's why I chose to live out here in the off season. It's just been a huge resource for me. So yeah, I just think I started training a week after the season ended. It's typically what I do. So yeah, it's been good.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Tim Twentyman.
Thanks, Taylor. You talked about the challenges of not having OTAs. You guys are having, 2 new starters on the offensive line. You're adding some young pieces. Can you just talk about the challenge of, your position more than probably any in football needs 5 guys to play as one? And what are the challenge of trying to kind of get to that point without being able to do it in person with OTAs? And what kind of challenges is that presenting with so many new guys in that room?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it. We are one of the position groups where we got 5 guys out there that kind of need to all be on the same page. And, we've obviously all played ball, but maybe not next to a certain guy. And then there's different things, there's different nuances to that, that you can kind of feel out a bit in OTAs. Obviously, we won't have pads on ever in OTAs until training camp. But, the onus is really going to be on learning what you're supposed to do and be a professional about it. So when we do get to be able to, be in person, play next to one another, there isn't the challenge of not knowing assignments on top of getting a level of familiarity and trying to get some fluidity going with maybe if you're playing next to a new guy. So I think just the onus on knowing your assignments, being a professional on that. And, we're trying to do all we can via the Zoom meetings, coaches flipping around and, trying to go over whatever film and assignments and everything we possibly can. So we're trying to maximize it. And it's been nice to see that, everybody's been in there, everybody's been taking notes, everybody's been into it. So it's a unique challenge for all of us, but I think what we can handle, we just have to, like I said, be professionals about it. And the assignments and things like that we can control, take care of that, so we can kind of hit the ground running as best we can once we do get back to some normalcy.
Thanks.
Hey, Burkett.
Good to see you, first of all, Taylor. Hope you're doing well out there.
Yes, appreciate it.
Two things. Just one follow-up to what Tim just asked. You, I think you've played next to a different left guard every single year, your first 4 years. How long does it take for a player to find a comfort level, when they're playing next to a new guy?
I mean, it depends, because there's certain guys that, maybe they weren't the starting guard, but you'd rotate in with them at practice. So you'd kind of know, and you'd watch film of them. So you kind of know what they do in different levels. So I guess it kind of depends on the guy. And I think a big part of that is having a good relationship with guys. So one thing that's been huge, and one thing that I love about our room, is everybody gets along really well. We have a good core group of guys. Obviously we got some new guys coming in, but I think the organization kind of takes into account, are they going to be a good fit in our room? Of course they're going to scout them as players, but are they going to be a good fit in our room? Because our room's been pretty rock solid relationship wise for the last couple of years. So yeah, I mean, it's just going to kind of be a feeling out thing. I mean, we do have, Joe Dahl coming back. So, we're going to, I played next to him, obviously. He's been here with me since my rookie year. And, we'll just kind of see how it goes in training camp. Guys rotating in, who knows what they're going to do. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's going to be some football, and whoever's out there is out there.
Curious for some of the other side of the line, I guess, where there's, new guys getting used to it. But the other question I wanted to ask you was just about your contractual situation. What do you need to see or hear from the team in order to get a long-term contract done this summer, if you even want one done?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big thing that's been, it's been new. It's been a new normal for everybody with all the quarantine stuff, all the Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So, not really something that's obviously I know it's on the horizon, but not really something that's been a huge in the forefront of my mind, huge focus. Obviously that's something that is coming along in the future. It's going to be important to me, but whenever that happens, I kind of leave that to my agent. That's why he gets paid. So and then I just take care of being a good football player. So whenever that happens, it'll happen, whatever conversations, but, so far there's been a lot of challenges with the whole quarantine, Zoom meetings, coaches not being in the buildings, us not being able to travel back. So, that's I'm sure that's going to present challenges for that process.
Have you had any contract talks yet about an extension, that is?
Nothing major. I mean, obviously, hey, we like you, sort of thing, but nothing major.
Thank you.
Mojo?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. Hey, Taylor, I know when football gets back onto the field, all the safety precautions will have been vetted and in place. But have you thought about it as a player when you start practicing, the first time you start practicing, even before you're playing? Do you think you'll have any trepidation, nervousness about the virus and about if all the safety protocols will work?
I don't know if this is the politically correct thing to say. Sorry, Eamon, but I'm not really worried about it personally. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple to me. I'm not worried about it personally. Because I'm out here in Arizona by myself right now. So, I don't have, elderly or kids around me. So me personally, I'm not worried, but I'd be willing to take all precautions to prevent other people from getting it, because that's just the right thing to do. But me personally, for myself, no, I'm not concerned about it.
And just one follow-up, that if and when the games start again, it seems like there will be no or very few fans in the stands. I know you probably haven't thought through that yet, but that will probably be one of the weirdest things you'll deal with. And what do you think of that going forward, maybe playing without fans for a while?
Yeah, I mean, that'll for sure be strange. I mean, I think, you saw it recently with the UFC, and you could, people watching that on pay-per-view, and it was just a very different feel. But it may be one of those things, and you hear guys say it all the time, even with a big crowd, once they get out there and start playing, they're just playing football. So it'll be different for sure if that is the case, but that'll just be one day a week that's going to be different for us for the most part. I'm sure there'll be other guidelines and other things that'll go on that it might be a little bit different, but for the most part, I would imagine our week to week is going to be pretty similar. until I get any different information on that. That's what I'm going to assume. So that'll kind of be a challenge or a bridge to cross, when we get there. But, obviously you're going to be able to hear a lot more communication, things like that. Crowd noise won't be as big of a factor, but at the end of the day, football is football. Just like if you're playing next to a new guy, you're definitely going to want to have some familiarity with him. But at the end of the day, a pass block's pass block, a deuce block's a deuce block. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But we kind of play football every day and practice in front of nobody. So hopefully it'll be all right.
Apology accepted, Taylor.
Yeah.
Kyle, Mikey.
Hey, Taylor, thanks for your time, man. You got the two new guys, the rookies, Jonah Jackson and Stenberg. I'm just curious what kind of interactions you've had with those guys so far. I know you're in Zoom meetings and stuff like that with the position, but have you had outside contact with those guys, nurturing them or whatever? And what's your impression of their games or their temperaments? They're, pretty nasty guys, according to Bob Quinn.
Yeah. After they got drafted, I, got their information, reached out to them just to, say hello, welcome to the team. Happy to have them. Jonah, obviously being from, my alumni, or my alma mater, I've seen him play. I've watched him play. I know he's a transfer, but I've seen him play, and he was a really good player. Logan, I didn't really see play in college, truthfully. But I know like the edginess that I've heard about and heard talked about him. And so I think personality wise in the meetings, they've been a fit. I think they'll slide in just fine. I know there's going to be challenges for them being rookies and not getting the OTAs, especially as a lineman, to come in as a young guy and play. That can be challenging. But they seem like the city of Detroit, blue collar guys and interior linemen and tough and hard working. So, we'll have to try to expedite the relationship and learning process once we all get together, but we're doing the best we can right now. And they've sang some songs for us. So that's a start.
What songs did they sing for you?
I think I had one of them do the 2C slide and dance and sing to it shirtless. So they were good sports about it.
Yeah, cool.
Justin Rogers.
Hey, Taylor, I just wanted to kind of build off Kyle's question. Every OTA snap and offseason snap, your rookie season was really important to you in getting ready for that starting role. These guys won't have that benefit. What can be done, I guess, to help with the physical and mental adjustment from college to pros to get these guys ready rapidly once you guys are able to return to the facility?
That's a bit of a tough question because, I wasn't in the situation that they were in. I was able to have all the OTA reps and rookie minicamp reps and training camp reps. So yeah, it's just going to be a tough learning curve for them. And I think, maybe some of us guys around them will have to, maybe stay extra and work with them after practice and hit them on some more film stuff if necessary. So yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be a really unique challenge. And I think especially as an offensive lineman, you hit on it. Those reps are invaluable because every single play you're going against somebody and it's, going to be a physical match. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for him. It's even going to be interesting for me, even though I've, played plenty of games. So yeah, I think we'll all kind of have to spread the wealth on helping them along, developing, and who knows, maybe they'll have no problem because this is all they're going to know coming in as a rookie. So we'll see.
We got time for two more questions. First with Louie, then we'll go Jeremy.
Taylor, I'm not sure if there's a moment in the offseason when normally your brain switches to, all right, it's football mode and we're ready for the season. Has that been affected with this? Is it tough to get the mind around the fact that you have a football season to get ready for, even though the training and the process getting ready for the season isn't the same as it normally is?
Yeah, it's been a little strange because it's getting hot as shit out here and I'm usually gone. I think it's gonna be like 111 today. But yeah, I mean, it's a little strange not having seen my teammates, knowing that the season's coming up. But everybody's adapted really
It's
well.
been great.
I think
I
people
think,
in general with all the
having
quarantine
his presence, having
stuff.
obviously everyone in hockey knows what he's done as a player, but also what he's done as a general manager, and then for him to come back to Detroit, and I think Ken Holland was a great general manager, but Steve coming back really
Someone's listening to the Red Wings
ramped up
media
the accountability
availability
in
that's
our locker
going on
room.
right now. That's what that is.
We had a great locker room, and we have a great group of guys, but
please
I think everyone was on their toes, which was a good thing, and everyone.
That was in fact Wojo. We apologize.
Okay.
Taylor, you want to finish that question, and we'll wrap up with Jeremy?
I don't remember what I was saying.
You're good, bro. Strange that you're not being able to work out with your team.
Oh yeah, and then everybody I feel like the country in general has adapted to everything going on, and that's all you can do. And yeah.
All right, last question, Jeremy.
You mentioned that you were down there with Charles Bentley. I noticed that you also joined his sports agency over this offseason. Can you kind of go into what the decision, what it went into your decision, and how important he's been to kind of your football career so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's been my number one resource, coming out of college, to this day, for my professional development, for my development as a man. I mean, I look up to him a lot. And he's been a great resource that's always shot me straight. He doesn't bullshit me. And I think as far as being an offensive lineman, he's the best in the business at what he does. So to have all kind of my counsel in-house at one place, that's invaluable to me. That's invaluable to me because, like I said, I look up to him a lot, and he's always done right by me. And I think, professionally and personally, I've, benefited a lot from him and his facility, and all the other guys and trainers at the gym, having them around me. So it was pretty much a no-brainer for me once he kind of started that to transition that, and I think it was just the best thing for me professionally. Yeah.